I don't think you can describe it, because, you know what I was saying? It was like quiet, but then also really alive.
Katy Perry just fired back at Joe Rogan, and the way she did it has everyone picking sides. Her response to the woman astronaut roast wasn't just a comeback, it was personal. If you missed it, here's what went down. Joe Rogan clowned Katy Perry on his podcast for saying she wanted to be the first woman to sing in space. He laughed, his guests laughed, the internet laughed, and then the memes came flying faster than a SpaceX rocket. But now Katy's breaking her silence, and she's not holding back. Let's rewind. Katy was doing a lighthearted interview, the kind where celebrities shared childhood dreams and random bucket list goals. Between mentions of motherhood and music, she smiled and said, "I want to be the first woman to sing in space." It was bold, quirky, classic Katy Perry, the kind of offbeat dream that makes her, well, her. But the internet? Oh, it was not in a dreamy mood. Clips were clipped, context was stripped, the full sentence disappeared. What remained was just the soundbite. Within hours, she wasn't a pop star with ambition, she was a meme. Katy Perry thinks she's Buzz Lightyear now? Who gave her clearance to orbit? One user joked she'd accidentally hit the eject button mid-chorus, and just like that, the internet did what it does best, turn a moment of sincerity into a circus. Which brings us to Joe Rogan. On the Joe Rogan Experience, the moment came fast. He played the clip, laughed, paused. You could almost feel the smirk through the screen. Then came the jab. Yeah, because what space missions really need is a live version of Firework in zero gravity. The studio burst into laughter. Rogan leaned back in his chair, sipping from his cup like he just dropped the hottest take of the week. And he wasn't done. Imagine that. There's a critical systems failure on the International Space Station, and Katy Perry's out here belting Teenage Dream while the oxygen tanks leak. The sarcasm was thick. The delivery, surgical. It wasn't a full-on attack. It was Joe doing Joe. Riffing, mocking, entertaining. And let's be honest, his audience ate it up. Clips from the episode spread like wildfire. TikToks, Instagram Reels, Reddit threads. People were quoting him, stitching him, and remixing the bit with actual rocket footage. Some fans even animated a floating Katy Perry singing in a spacesuit while chaos unfolded around her. But not everyone was laughing. Katy's fanbase, the Katy Cats, came out swinging. They called the roast unnecessary, sexist, and mean-spirited. They argued that women with dreams are always ridiculed when they aim too high, literally and figuratively. And this wasn't just about a joke, it felt like a bigger message. Because to them, this wasn't funny, this was punching down, and Katy still hadn't said a word. Reddit, X, and TikTok exploded. Clips from Joe's podcast hit the front page of r/public freakout, r/pop culture chat, and even r/space. Everyone had an opinion, and nobody was holding back. Memes like Katy Perry, first of her name, destroyer of space missions, went viral. One TikTok creator stitched the clip with dramatic footage of a rocket spiraling out of control, while Firework blasted in the background. The caption, NASA after letting Katy Perry on board. Another creator jokingly issued a no-fly zone around the moon. Even parody accounts jumped in with tweets like, "Breaking, NASA confirms rocket delay due to unexpected glitter incident." Katy Perry accidentally presses eject mid-chorus. Astronauts still floating. There were fake news headlines, fake mission patches, even a fake Elon Musk quote that read, "SpaceX is for science, not halftime shows." The internet was running wild, and it was funny until it wasn't, because the tone started to shift. Some people began asking, why is everyone so quick to mock a woman for dreaming big? Comment threads started debating whether it would have been different if a male artist said the same thing. Others brought up the long history of women being laughed at for aiming high. Literally, the internet that once mocked Katy was now kind of divided, but in the middle of all of it, Katy Perry, silent, not a tweet, not a story, not a sound. And for fans, that silence spoke volumes. For days she stayed quiet. No tweets, no interviews, no clapbacks, not even a cryptic story post, just silence. But Katy Perry's silence has never meant stillness, because her fans, the Katy Cats, started noticing the breadcrumbs. She liked a post defending her space dream, a heartfelt message that read, "Let women dream out loud, even if it sounds crazy to you." Then she unliked it. No explanation, no response, just gone. Hours later, she followed a female astronaut, someone who'd previously performed a musical piece aboard aboard the ISS. Within the day, she unfollowed her too. No comment, no trace. Fans went full-blown CSI mode. One theory claimed she was quietly assembling support behind the scenes. Another said she was testing reactions, watching who stood by her and who didn't. There were even TikTok deep dives analyzing her recent Spotify playlist activity, because of course there were, and all of it pointed to one thing. She wasn't ignoring the drama, she was watching it unfold. And Katy Perry? She doesn't clap back randomly. When she responds, it's with a bang, and fans knew something was absolutely brewing. They just didn't know when or how it would hit. Finally, in a promo interview for her latest project, the interviewer brought it up. The space comment, the Rogan clip, the internet meltdown. It was the moment everyone was waiting for, and Katy didn't flinch. No eye roll, no sarcasm, just calm, collected defiance. It's always fascinating when women have big dreams. People get uncomfortable. The tone shifted instantly. Gone was the playful pop star. This was a woman who'd been mocked, memed, and misquoted, and wasn't about to back down. She made it clear she wasn't joking. She wasn't chasing clout or trying to go viral. I've performed all over the world. Space just seemed like the next frontier. Then she said it, the line that broke the internet. Music transcends gravity. The room went silent. Even the interviewer blinked like they didn't know whether to clap or ask a follow-up. But online, absolute chaos. Within hours, that quote was everywhere. On fan pages, think pieces, merch mock-ups. Some people praised her for turning the moment into something powerful. Others doubled down on the mockery, calling it cringe and delusional. But everyone was talking about it, and whether they loved it or hated it, they couldn't ignore it. Within hours, other stars chimed in. Lizzo posted, "Sing in space, sis." Neil deGrasse Tyson reposted a meme with no caption. Shady. And Demi Lovato tweeted, "Let's not forget it used to be crazy for women to vote, too." Suddenly, this wasn't just about Katy, it was about ambition, mockery, and double standards. Then NASA stepped in. NASA posted a clip from a 2011 shuttle launch. Caption, "We've always believed in taking music to new heights." No tags, no names, no mentions. But fans knew exactly who it was for. The timing was too perfect. Was it support, a wink, a roast? Nobody knew for sure, but it made things way more interesting. Katy Perry deserved better, trended. So did Space Karen. Yep, people were arguing about feminism, ambition, Rogan's sarcasm, Katy's legacy, and whether aliens would vibe with Roar. It was chaos, and it was beautiful, but Katy wasn't done. 2 days later, she posted a carousel on Instagram. No explanation, no context, just vibes. Pick one, her in a silver skin-tight astronaut outfit, looking straight into the camera like she was already floating through orbit. Pick two, her holding a microphone in front of a telescope, silhouetted against the night sky. Pick three, a close-up of her moon boots with the caption, "Dreams don't need permission." That was it. No tags, no hashtags, no mentions. But the message, loud and clear. Within minutes, the post went viral. Thousands of comments flooded in. Some called her iconic. Others mocked her again. Space Barbie strikes back. News outlets picked it up instantly. Katy Perry claps back astronomically. Perry responds with intergalactic shade. Fan theories lit up. Was this a direct shot at Rogan? Was the mic by the telescope a metaphor? Was she about to announce something bigger? A performance? A project? A real NASA collab? She didn't need to say his name. Everyone knew. The silence between the lines was louder than any direct call out. And right on cue. The very next day, Joe Rogan dropped a new episode. And while he didn't mention her name either, fans immediately knew who he was talking about. In his next podcast, Rogan didn't mention Katy by name. Not once. But his audience? They knew exactly who he was talking about. He launched into a story, classic Rogan style, about celebrities who take themselves way too seriously. He mimicked exaggerated voices, mocked vague dream-chasing quotes, and at one point casually dropped, "It's like you make bubblegum music, not rocket fuel." The room laughed, Rogan smirked, and that one line went straight to Reddit. Fans clipped it, captioned it, and called it what it was, a not-so-subtle jab. "This has to be about Katy." "He's still salty," she responded. "Dude's dragging a pop star like she tried to land the shuttle herself." The feud was no longer loud. It was icy, cold, calculated, and oddly fascinating. Two celebrities, one space dream, and a growing standoff playing out without a single direct mention. And the tension was addicting. Every post, every quote, every silence felt intentional. But just when everyone thought it would fizzle out, Katy flipped the narrative. And this time, it wasn't with a meme or a caption. It was with a move no one, especially Rogan, saw coming. She started a new charity campaign, Voices Beyond Earth, mission, fund arts and STEM programs, and support women in aerospace fields. Mic drop. The announcement came with a sleek video, Katy narrating over clips of young girls building rockets, painting space-themed murals, and watching shuttle launches with wide eyes. Every dream starts somewhere, even the ones that sound impossible. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a reframe. She turned the joke into a platform, the punchline into purpose. Suddenly, the pop star in space meme didn't feel so ridiculous. It felt empowering. News outlets ran headlines like Katy Perry launches movement after Rogan backlash. From pop star to space advocate, Katy strikes back. Even SpaceX's social team followed her after the announcement, triggering a wave of speculation. Fans started tagging NASA, tweeting hashtag let Katy sing in space. And just like that, Katy didn't just respond. She flipped the script and took the narrative with her. Articles popped up everywhere. Katy Perry wins the space war. Joe Rogan just got out-orbited. Media outlets that once mocked her were now praising her for how she flipped the entire narrative. Entertainment blogs hailed it as the smartest celebrity PR move of the year. One even dubbed her Commander Perry in a headline. Late-night hosts cracked jokes about her next mission being to host the VMAs from the moon. But the fan response? That's where things really changed. What started as a meme feud had transformed into a full-blown comeback arc. Tweets like, "This is the most iconic redemption story since Mariah Carey." Katy went from clown to queen in 3 posts. She had taken control, and for a moment, it seemed like the saga was over. But then, one final comment, barely a sentence, stirred the pot all over again. And just like that, the internet was back on fire. At a fan Q&A, someone nervously raised their hand and asked Katy, "Would you still sing in space?" Without missing a beat, she smiled and replied, "Only if Joe Rogan comes with me." The room erupted. Laughter, cheers, even a few gasps. Clips of the moment hit social media within minutes. Queen of clapbacks. Katy Perry just ended the debate with one sentence. Even Rogan fans had to admit, it was a solid punchline. And now the question is, did Katy Perry just outwit Joe Rogan at his own game? Or did this whole thing spiral into something no one can control? What started as a viral roast might have just turned into the most unexpected comeback of the year. Drop your take in the comments below.